Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Within. It's your greasy girl, Fel. And today I'm so excited because we're going to do a follow-on video from our very first toner video that I did maybe a week or two ago, which you guys seemed to thoroughly enjoy. And in that video, I mentioned I have two types of toners in my routine. The first are the toners that contain active ingredients which help with breakouts, with blackheads, whiteheads, and large pores. So at the end, I did mention about 4 or 5 of my favorite soothing toners. So I thought I would section it off and do an entire video all about soothing, hydrating toners that work well for everyone. I can honestly say that I think all skin types, any skin condition should definitely have a toner in their routine that they can chop and change in and out of as a daily toner. There's toners that act almost as essences, and there's some that even act as moisturizers. And honestly, I look at this and I feel like this is a problem. Like, okay, by no means is it normal that anyone should have this amount of toners. You know, it's purely for the job, which I'm very grateful for. And so I have all the juice for you. Speaking of juice, I am very parched. And make sure you've pressed subscribe on our channel and the notification bell so that you can keep updated on all of Ro and I's favorites. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Okay guys, so for this video, I did split up my soothing, calming, favoritist toners into different types of categories, which we'll visit very, very soon. We'll get into each of these products. But before that, I just want to reiterate what toners are good for. Because the very surface of our skin is made up of the stratum corneum, which is made up of a lot of like dead skin cells. As our skin regenerates, it pushes up and pushes out the dead skin, which eventually flies away to become dust. And it reveals glowing, renewed skin, and it just keeps pushing up that way. And in the past, toners were more stripping. They had a lot of maybe alcohols and astringents formulated in them, but now, especially with a lot of the Korean formulations, as well as a lot of other brands that do really well in making sure that the toner isn't taking away hydration, but it's instilling hydration with a lot of calming, soothing qualities, as well as nourishing qualities. And why this is important is because we've said so many times on this channel that hydration is key to truly glowing skin. It's like the way that our earth needs water. It needs rivers, it needs ocean, and it all works together to really hydrate the planet. So what I found personally is that the more hydrated my skin is, the less prone to breakouts that I actually see, because the hydration levels really help to counter the overproduction of sebum, which then makes it very balanced. Toners also help the following products in our skincare routine really penetrate down into the skin, because we've used the analogy of a sponge where our skin actually absorbs nutrients and ingredients much more effectively when it's slightly damp. But I just want to reiterate that it isn't an essential. The basics of a skincare routine, the most fundamental, are your cleanser, your moisturizer, your sunscreen. You can get away with that for a very simple routine. But for me, as you can see, my passion lies in toners because they're doing the most, but they're very subtle. So now let's jump into toners. So first off, I love mists. And I have 3 here that are my ultimate favorites. Why I love these is because they are a dual phase, meaning they have 2 layers of hydration, which is this watery section, and then they have a layer on the top that's oil, and the oil is made up of different ingredients. So starting off with the Neogen, this is their White Truffle Ampoule Drop Mist, and when I first heard of this, I was like, oh my god, I need this in my life because it's a toner, but it also says it's an ampoule drop mist. So it's essentially acting as 2-in-1. So this one contains amino acids, ceramides, and fatty acids that really help to replenish the skin while giving it hydration. And as we know, white truffle is a form of mushroom, and mushrooms are such a great ingredient for hydration. You know, the chaga mushroom, reishi mushroom, they're like elixirs of life for hydration. All different brands will have a different kind of concoction of how they make up that oil. So this one has sea buckthorn, which is a really great ingredient for all skin types, especially oily and acne prone. So what you want to do is make sure you shake all of these before you spritz it onto your face. And it just smells so refreshing. So the only thing to keep in note with these is because it contains botanical oils that make up that oil layer. If you guys are sensitive to any botanical oils, that's just something to keep in mind. So yeah, just make sure you shake it. Now moving on, like, do I even need to talk much about this? I feel like Ro and I talked about it for such a long time. We love the brand, and the reason why we love it is because it's extracted from seasonal fruits depending on when they're most ripe and nutrient dense, and it also contains a large portion of fruit waters. For this one, you'll either get the green plum or the yuja fruit depending on the season, and then this oil concoction contains macadamia oil, jojoba oil, as well as sunflower seed oil. You know, it's just slightly different to this, which contains a different concoction of oils. So I just sprayed them both onto my arm to kind of get a live reaction. They're very similar, let me tell you. So the thing is, even though you might look at it and be like, oh, there's a layer of oil, it's gonna be oily on my face. Not at all, folks. It is very lightweight. It just creates a glow to the skin. I don't have to talk more about this. We love this, and we're soon gonna stock it on our website to sell, so you guys can get it straight from Beauty Within, because we're working together with Sioris because we love their brand. We just reached out to them and was like, can we please start stocking your products so we can offer it to you guys? So we're very excited about that. Now, make prem. There's a hair. Oh my god, thumbs up if like you find just balls of hair over your floor in every 30-minute intervals, even right after you vacuumed. Oh my gosh, life of a girl. Okay, moving on. This is the Comfort Mild Soothing Mist, and this one's a little bit different to these two because of the color. Yes, it is green, and what gives it this beautiful fresh green color is naturally derived from the neem tree oil and the neem water extract. As well as that, it also contains chia seed and Centella asiatica, which is my favorite ingredient for soothing, calming, everyday like application. And then on top of that, it's also got the Hortunia cortata, which I'm getting better at saying because we say it all the time now. And it's very similar to Centella in that it really calms down inflammation. So I can't even tell you which one I love more. It's like your 3 children, you can't pick favorites.
Okay, let's put you back, my lovelies.
My next kind of toner soothing calming category is the ones that are deeply hydrating. And the reason why I say that is because these 3 toners are much more like thicker in terms of consistency and its level of like viscosity. So I have 3 here: the Laneige Cream Skin Refiner, the Fresh Rose Deep Hydration, and the Peach and Lily Wild Dew Treatment Essence. Which one do you guys want to hear first? All of them! Okay. Okay, so let's go first into the Peach and Lily. This is their Wild Dew Treatment Essence, and it's this beautiful bottle, all clear. What I love about this is that it is so deeply hydrating. So for the winter, I will even do 2 layers of this, much like how I use the Haru Haru Wonder Rice Toner. It's very similar in consistency to me in that it's not completely watery, but it's slightly viscousy. And then when it dries on the skin, you feel like you've already serumed. And then it gives this like instantly plumped look. So in terms of the ingredients, there's lotus extract, which is this really great ingredient that's packed with antioxidants, flavonoids, and polyphenols that really help to strengthen the skin and also protect the skin. This also has niacinamide, which, as you guys know, is my absolute favorite holy grail ingredient for any skincare product. So anytime that it's formulated in there, I'm like, yes. So I would recommend this for those of you who have dry skin, combination skin, and you can layer that on until you feel like, yeah, this is good. Or if you have oily skin, you use this straight after cleansing, go straight to your moisturizer as well. Now let's move on to a cult favorite and probably one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. It's the Fresh Rose Deep Hydration hydration facial toner. If you guys enjoy rose, you can stop everything and just jump and get this baby because it contains rose water extract as well as rose flower oil as well as other rose properties that are all injected into this beautiful floating bottle. And there's also technology that goes into this to make sure that these flower petals are all spaced out evenly, so it's like it's a dream for the eyes. So the rose water is already acting to soothe and replenish the skin and make it hydrated, but the rose flower oil kind of acts like these dual phase mist that I was talking about, in that it gives you that slight emollient quality where it's really nourishing the skin as well as hydrating it. But when I say that, it's not oily at all, you know what I mean? It's like very hard to explain, but it's just such, it's like a spa experience. You feel like you're literally $1 million when you apply this rose toner on. Now, another deeply hydrating toner that also is so innovative in the way that they formulated it is a toner and moisturizer. This one literally cuts everything out of the equation. So how I personally use it is that I'll go in with like one of these more very watery consistencies, very lightweight ones, and then I'll go in with this as a watery moisturizer. Or you could even just one step, kill it all, use this if you have oily skin. And I think it is more than enough because as you splash it onto your face and you pat it in there, in about 10 to 15 seconds, the more you like work it in, you'll feel it transforming on your face, and it creates this like very nourishing, very like moisturizer effect. It takes a while to even like register what is happening. So this was born out of the fact that they realized that some toners just weren't moisturizing enough and some moisturizers were too thick and heavy. So they combined the two, and this literally took 27 months to formulate. That is more than 2 years, my friends. For those of you with drier skin types, then we would say use this as a toner, and then you could definitely go in with another serum and moisturizer. But for me, I just like don't even have to think about it. It's all about minimizing my routine. But you can also find this in a spray form. So it's kind of like this, so you can spray it onto your skin, and it's literally a toner, serum, moisturizer step all in one. Who can argue with that? Who? Tell me. I'm gonna find you if you don't dig it. No, I'm just kidding. Now I'm gonna go into my favorite picks of toners that contain fermented ingredients. So the first is the Tatcha Essence, which I've used for a really long time now that I absolutely love. And then we have the Pyunkang. This is their Essence Toner, which is also really popular. And the Wamisa Organic Flowers Toner.
Put you back here for now.
Be good. So let's start off first with the Tatcha Essence. So why I love the Tatcha products is that all their products contain a formulation of 3 proprietary fermented ingredients. So it has the Uji green tea, the Okinawa Mizuku algae, and the Atika rice. We've talked about it on the channel. Rice is a really great subtle brightening ingredient that also helps with anti-aging as well as hydration. Algae is such a powerhouse for hydration and locking in hydration, much like mushroom. The geishas and the people in Japan used to use just slabs of seaweed on their face as like the OG sheet mask. And then as we know, green tea is so high in antioxidants, flavonoids, polyphenols. They're like the highest form of antioxidants for your skin. And it comes out of like, I think the reason they designed this, I'll have to contact Tatcha and ask. I don't know if those of you who have gone to Japan, but they have those watering wells and it comes out like this. It's like a waterfall type thing. Oh, love it. So what makes the fermented ingredients different is that in the fermentation process, because you're adding different types of bacteria into it, it's really extracting the nutrients and then creating different types of amino acids, peptides, and then it becomes this supercharged version of its former self. And that then allows your skin to really absorb these ingredients much more effectively. It's like when a mother bird already like chews the food and masticates it for their child and then feeds it to their child. style. The only downfall is that it is a little bit pricey, much like, you know, the SK2, which is also a fermented toner essence, which I don't have here because I used it all up and it's kind of just too expensive for my liking. Now, moving on to Pyunkang. This is also really exciting because when we first came across it, it was like nothing that we've ever come across. First, because of its key ingredient that makes up the majority of this essence toner. So much like this one, it is an essence and toner, so you use it as that middle step and you can go straight on to moisturizing. And the reason why it's so nutrient dense is because there's no water in this. It's actually 91.3% made up of milk vect root extract. So it's a boost of antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, it can really help to soothe and calm and restore the skin, especially when you're feeling irritated. So when you put it on, it does have this kind of slightly viscousy, silky texture, and you gotta pat it on and let it kind of like do its thing, let the skin absorb it, and then move on to, I just go into a moisturizer. So for those of you asking if you have acne prone as well as dry skin, I would highly recommend something like this because it does it all and it's fragrance free, dye free. Anything that you wouldn't want in a product is not formulated. It is just very straightforward and it does the job. Okay, now the third baby of this fermented toner group. This is Wamisa, which is a brand that we don't typically hear much about, but I love it. Like their natto water cream I gave to Rowena and we were just like I gave it to her because I was just like, I've never tried a consistency gel cream like this and it was great. But this is their deep rich organic flowers toner. So if you look at the ingredients of this, you're like, whoa, this is crazy in terms of all the ingredients that they managed to pack in here. So the first three ingredients are aloe, chrysanthemum, and oat kernel extract, which are just so great for soothing, calming, restoring the skin if you have any sort of sensitivities. And then the next three ingredients are the powerhouse fermented ingredients, including chrysanthemum ferment filtrate, lotus ferment filtrate, and dandelion root ferment filtrate. So to me, this is kind of like a supercharged toner and serum because it's got that slightly viscousy texture and consistency, which I feel like even just one layer over my combo oily skin is enough hydration. So if you have dry skin, definitely check it out. I think you guys will love it. Okay guys, how are we all going so far? Have we perished? Moving on to the bulk of the soothing, calming, restoring, hydrating toners that I have. And it's basically these ones. Let me just try and break it up by ingredients so that you can get a little more perspective. So here I have two Centella focused toners. So first is the Cica Pear Tiger Grass Calming Mist from Dr. Jart, and then we have the Centella Green Level Calming Toner from Purito. So let's first start off with the Dr. Jart. This is designed and formulated for relieving agitated and irritated skin because you can see in the formulation of ingredients. So it contains Centella asiatica, as well as that it's got the Hortunia cordata, which is antibacterial and anti-inflammatory ingredient. And then it's got niacinamide as the fifth ingredient, which helps with a plethora of things from pores to texture to brightening. And then the fourth ingredient is the sea holly callus culture filtrate, which really helps with skin renewal and just restoring that skin barrier. If I use this, I will definitely still use a serum and then a moisturizer because it is so lightweight. Now moving on to the Purito Centella Green Level Calming Toner, which I know you guys also really love. So once again, if your skin barrier is compromised, it's not feeling well, you're getting itchy, scratchy, then this is definitely one of those toners that will really help build your skin barrier back to health. So this one contains 10% Centella asiatica as well as hyaluronic acid. It's a very simple formulation, but on top of that, it's also got panthenol as well as a little bit of witch hazel extract. Now, for me personally, I've gone through a love-hate with witch hazel because some witch hazels, like the Thayer's toner, completely stripped my skin, and although it did help to balance out sebum, it like went overboard and gave me a rash. But this one, I don't feel that it's irritating at all. And this is like kind of a goopy formulation as well. It's not completely watery like the Dr. Jart where it just like instantly sinks into the skin. And you're gonna be able to get this on our website as well because we love Purito, so that's that one. So now moving on to a toner that Rowena and I both love, and I feel like if you're feeling irritated, itchy, you're flaking, like something has gone wrong, you've got a rash, definitely pick this one up. This is the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Wild Oat Hydrating Toner. And for those of you who don't know, First Aid Beauty is really formulated and designed for sensitive skin, and it's alcohol free. So for me, it's kind of like CeraVe. I just run to it, especially when I have a rash. This is the only milky consistency toner in the range, apart from the Laneige, but it's nowhere near as like moisturizing as the Laneige. It really is just the best toner consistency, and why I love it is purely because of oat. The benefits of using oat kernel extract for any sort of irritation is crazy. It works probably more effectively than even Centella for me. Even though it's milky, it's very lightweight and it sinks into the skin. You can layer it. So I would say this is definitely repairing, it's hydrating, it's my friend on a rainy day. Moving on to another super lightweight, and it's actually in the name, it's the Paula's Choice Weightless Advanced Repairing Toner. So I love this one for very similar reasons, that it just feels like water. You can keep splashing it on your face for hydration while really giving you that replenished and hydrated skin. This one is formulated with peptides as well as resveratrol, which as we know is a really great antioxidant that comes from grapes. So this is designed for normal to oily skin, and honestly guys, it's like you're not even applying anything at all. So if you truly want something that is weightless, I would definitely recommend this. So there's this one. Guys, wake up! Are you still with me? Are you still with me? All right, next, following along with a very lightweight but deeply hydrating toner is this one from Hylamide. Now, Hylamide is part of Decium, which as you might know or might not know is the parent of our favorite Ordinary brand. So to me, Hylamide is kind of like that step up of the Ordinary. The packaging is a little more fun because it contains colors, but it's still very minimal and does the most. This is their Sub-Q Mist Multi-Depth Toning Treatment for water density. So if you look into the ingredients, it is very simple, but you'll find that it's one of those products that doesn't need a lot, but it gives the most hydration because of how it's formulated and the ingredients that are used. So it's got a purified form of green tea, but on top of that, it contains this marine ingredient that works very similarly to the way that hyaluronic acid works, in that it attracts and holds hydration into the skin. And it's also oil-free. So those of you who are really oily or who want a toner that doesn't leave any slip on the skin and that just instantly gets drank. Not sure about English, but it just gets instantly absorbed into the skin. This is so great. Oh my God, we're literally almost there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Last two, we have the one that I've talked endlessly about, still going strong, is the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Hyaluronic Acid Toner. And then there's also the Lagome Cellus Mist Toner. So let's just follow on with the Lagome. So the Lagome brand is really interesting because they came out with a Nobel Prize winning innovation, which is known as Dermaflux, which essentially enables the ingredients within this formulation to enter into our skin and hydrate the cells of our skin. So it plumps it from the inside out. So this contains two types of oil, moringa oil as well as rose oil. It offers high levels of antioxidant properties, once again helping defend your skin from things like free radicals and external aggressors. So that is Lagome. And then we'll end it on obviously a high note. I'm still loving the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice hyaluronic toner. I said to Rowena that I was never really into hyaluronic acid toners, but after using this completely changed my mind. This one also has the fermented black rice. It's slightly brightening, it has antioxidant properties, which is why I think it had a lot to do with how my skin really evened out over the last month. Even though it has a little bit of that viscosity to the texture, it glides over the skin and is instantly absorbed, and I will layer about 2 layers of this on and then jump either into the Laneige or my moisturizer. Honestly speaking, with all these really great toners, I haven't even been using serums much because it's been so hot, so humid. I'm like a summer baby because I was born in February in Australia, so I love the heat, but sometimes when it's this humid, I really struggle. So that is all my favorite hydrating, soothing, best BFF toners. So I hope you guys found some inspiration, learned something new through this video, and make sure you check out our next episode on Saturday where Rowena and I are going to share more secrets about the things that we've learned in the skincare industry through trial and error of different ingredients and products. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the description below, and we will be back very soon in our next episode. Bye! All my toners are saying bye. Goodbye. Sound of Music was my favorite show of all time when I was young. I would literally watch that 3 times a day because it's like 3 hours long, which is 9 hours. And then like back then when I was like 10 or whatever, I'm like, done, that's my day. When times were simple.